on this computer. So yes, so apologies from Seamus. He said he is in Kenya and he is filming, so we do understand that how important it is for us to, and this is something great that I learned in Q Momentum as well, which we'll talk about in the next session. So yes, apologies from him, and then of course apologies from George, because George does his once a month Moths meeting, so he will be on for the later session as well. So right, guys, we've been having really amazing listening to everybody, and I've been watching the WhatsApp groups over the last week, and you know, it's always those handful of people that are posting, and I'm not just talking about my personal groups, I'm talking about all the groups that I'm on. There's just that handful that post a comment or put a picture up and things like that, and I'm not one of those either, because I hate those groups to be so full of that, which means that more than likely we're all thinking the same. But what I have noticed is that I've just had a link watched. Yeah, I can add another one to my day, and my pop-ups just come. So that's so awesome. So I've just sent the link out before we got on, and I'm like, they're watching it, so that's so awesome. So yes, what I'd like to talk about this evening, and I'd love to have some interaction as well, you know me, I don't like it to be one way, and that is educating our expectations. So if we go to the back office of My Lifestyle Galaxy, and you go scroll down, I think it's the how-to videos. It is how-to videos. Right to the end, at the bottom, you'll see Andrew Eaton's Educate Your Expectations. And I want us to listen to that at least as homework for us on this group, and for the new people that pop into your group, to go and listen to that again. Because what I've noticed, and what we have noticed in network marketing all these years, is that people have a tendency to be very fired up and very excited when they first come on board, okay? And they get on board and it's like, yes, this is for me. So even a couple of my other people, which I'm now just going to ask them why they're not on this this Zoom, which is not good, which, you know, I send personal messages to some people and they still don't get onto the Zoom. So let me just quickly, I have to do that. There we go. They want the personal link as well. All right. Okay. So let's just get these guys on. Why are they not here? Let me find them quickly. Sorry, guys, but I don't want to carry on all the way. Frick to be a click, get started with strategy 2. Awesome. Yours. Nice one, Keith. It's awesome to see. And I just want to say, for you guys that are actually on this, please, thank you so much for being on here. Gosh, let me just go here. My humble apologies. And you know, I can't understand how people want you to do things and to help them and help them build their businesses, and they expect you to be on Zoom calls for them and their team, but they're not prepared to jump onto my training Zoom. But they want you to drive all the way around the world. To the other day, I drove all the way from Pretoria to Glen Vista to have a meeting with someone in my downline, and they can't even take 2 hours of their time to actually jump on here. And it's actually starting to get a little bit one-way street, so I'm going to have to start putting some stops to it. And somebody's just wanted to book a 10 o'clock at night Zoom with me with one of their people, and I'm like, hey, you don't even have the courtesy to jump onto this call. So guys, please understand, it's all about educating your expectations. And yes, we do get fired up and we're excited and we want to be involved in this business because we have this massive why. And some of you have been sending me your whys over the last few days as to why you're actually wanting to get into this business. And that's very important, because we need to revisit that. And your why, you guys that are on this call, barring the 2 that have put their apologies in, have got big whys and really want to change your life. So I want to compliment you and say just well done for actually being on this call. So one of the things that as we go through, and you probably find the reason why some people are no longer jumping onto this call, and even onto Susie's call now. I mean, Susie's got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people in her downline. And she too only had 12 people on her call just now. So I understand we're busy. But at the end of the day, you know, we need to start educating our expectations. And I want to recap Andrew's talk, and I'm going to add a little bit more to his video, which is educate your expectations. And the first one is that we all have those dream stealers. And those dream stealers that are there, we sometimes forget about who they are and how they're working. And the few dream stealers that we have, and we all know the first set of dream stealers that will come along is our family and our friends. And they don't mean it, and the reason why, they love you. And they want you to do the right thing, and they want you to make the right decisions. So it's so important for us as leaders, and even for us to listen and say, what are my family and friends saying about this crypto space that I'm in, or the network marketing space? Because they're the ones that are going to come along. They're the first ones that are going to say to you, it's a pyramid scheme, it's a scam, you can't do it, okay, because of their limiting beliefs of you. And then because all of us have that small little inside limiting beliefs of ourselves, we'll start growing on, gosh, maybe I can't do this. And we might the very next day get onto a call and start to make 10, 20 phone calls, and all 20 people say no. And if you've got a limiting belief in yourself, your first natural reaction is to say, yes, I know, I can't do this. And that's the truth. I remember when I started in my first network marketing business, and I hated the phone, absolutely hated the phone. And it's an upbringing thing from my dad. My dad hated the telephone. If I phoned my dad, even when we were living in Pretoria, and I'd say, hey, every Sunday I used to phone my dad. Every single Sunday I phoned my dad. Every single Sunday I phoned my mum, because they live far away. And I would say, hey, Dad, how are you? Hi, Shelley. Fun. So what you up to? Nothing. What are you gardening? Yes. And I'm like, but now if I had to go and meet him in his home with a cup of coffee, he would have walked me around the garden. He would have told me about all his orchids. He would have told me everything. Do you know what I'm saying? He hated the phone. So we grew up hating the phone. Maybe it was his tactic for us not to push up the telephone bill as young teenagers, where you normally sit on the phone for 3 hours. So maybe that was his tactic, but it followed through life. And so the very first set of phone calls I started doing, I actually got 60 no's my first time in network marketing that I sat on the phone. 60. And if my why was not so big, that I really believed that God had given me this vehicle, and this vehicle was so important to me that it was going to create my financial freedom. And this is way back in 2011, January 2011. If I didn't believe that this was the vehicle, I would have given up probably at 10. I certainly would have given up at 20 no's, 30 no's, 40 no's, 60 no's before I got my first yes. I'll come and listen to you. Okay. But it's about that breakthrough. And if I had that limiting belief in myself, I think I would have given up, because that is those 3 limiting beliefs we will get challenged on every single day. One is your limiting belief that you can do it. The second is your limiting belief that people out there are saying, or limiting belief in the cryptocurrency space. And then the third one is the limiting belief that we might have with regards to the actual network marketing profession. And if we can overcome those 3 beliefs and help people to overcome those 3 beliefs, and educate them on how to deal with those dream stealers. So it's not to fight with your family if they say, this is a scam or the cryptocurrency space. It's all like, okay, well, thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate your input, but I'm still going to make a decision, and I'm doing this. Okay, so keep it polite with your family, because after all, they are family. So always remember, thank you for sharing. However, I'm going to continue doing this. So when somebody comes down at you, thank you for sharing. You don't have to justify anything or anything like that. It's just as simple as thank you for sharing. I really appreciate your input, but this is what I've decided to do. Okay. So because when your family and friends are coming to you, they actually know you. They have your history. Okay, so they've seen what you've done before. They've seen when you've given up. They've seen when you've triumphed. They've seen when you've been successful. They've seen when you haven't been successful. So they're the ones that are going to continuously be the ones that are going to come down at you and speak to you. So I take my sisters, for example, and I'm going to say this as nicely as I possibly can, but I've been an overachiever. So whatever I put my hands to, I've succeeded in and I've done. But when it came to network marketing, every single one of my family told me there's no way I could do this. There's just no way I could actually do network marketing. Every single one of them. And now who's buying their cars for them? Who's the one that's put mom through to old age home? Who's the one that's bailing them out every month? Who's the one that's doing it's the network marketing? Okay, so I had a joke and I said to Anne for my 50th birthday, which is now come and gone, I wanted to go to Phuket and I wanted to have a t-shirt and Jeff knows exactly where I'm going with Phuket because we have a PH and it's called in South Africa. When I went to school, a PH was a okay, and I was going to have a t-shirt that said I'm Phuket, spelled with the F. Okay, I'm here because of network marketing, and I wanted my whole freaking family to wear it. That was what in their goodie bag that they were going to get, but I never did it anyway. But it was a thought, and it was really something really that I thought about. So then, so remember, this is their perspective of what they're going through, and they might have been treated badly in some form of network marketing. 90% of them have been scammed. So before I go on to, because I've got 5 dream stealers, so before I go on to the next dream stealer, who would like to add or share a story or something about family and friends being their dream stealers? Yes, Jeff. Let's unmute you. Right. Go for it.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Hello, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Yes, dream stealers, mostly family and closest friends, best men, groomsmen, kids, even kids, you know, the ones who we've encouraged. I mean, I remember once being told by a teacher, I wanted to be a vet, and I got told in grade 11 that I'm too stupid to be a vet. Didn't matter that I had 5 A's in grade 10, standard 8 in those days. I was too dumb. And I gave up.
Yeah.
When I went into teaching, I vowed I would never, ever knock any kid's dream. Everything is about encouraging kids to fulfill themselves. So the kids, my own kids, who I also focused more on upliftment than telling off, even they said, you're wasting your time. It's a scam. And it was an opinion passed by my ex-wife. It's the same with my dad. He joined this. 5 days later, I'd thrown my money away. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm not like this. I can't do this. You know, and so I think one's own belief also starts to get eroded when the people around you do that. I did a Facebook Live last night on this 14-day challenge with Ray Higdon, and it's all about self-talk. Mm-hmm. We have to become bulletproof with the way we speak to ourselves.
I like it.
And that is probably our biggest defense against dream stealers, is change the way we talk to ourselves about what we can do, never mind what we can't do, about what we are and what we can do.
Absolutely. Awesome. Love it. Thank you for that. Thanks, Jeff. So yeah, I also had a story with one of my daughters, and literally wouldn't let me in her house if I mentioned. She threw me out her house and banned me from seeing my grandchildren for 6 months because I joined Amway. Serious.
Ouch.
That was hectic. Anyway, she grew up and got over herself, and we just had to be patiently and love her through that process. But it is tough. It is tough. Keith, you want to say something?
Yes, on both of our families as well. with Claudia's family, with our previous network marketing. I'm talking now about 30 years back. Claudia was sent to Ghana to go work with our team over there. And her brother actually wanted to come and beat me up.
Wow. Oh my.
and
You're network marketing heathen, you.
And past December with my sister in Port Elizabeth too. That's the last time I've seen her. And the way things were just pulled out over there of, look at this in the paper about Bitcoin. And look at this. And what happened to your last thing? But very so sarcastic. And that's where I just didn't know how to handle it. We just got in the car and we just left. And we were 36 hours on the road.
Sure. That's sad, hey?
I saw it maybe shouldn't have happened, but it was a difficult situation.
Yeah. It is. Wow. Thanks for sharing, Keith. So Margriet just said that she wished she would understand why there's such an emotional reaction against the profession. And it's possibly because of how badly people have been treated in the profession by other people, and literally just bullied, basically is the word, into buying products. And also it's very funny because one of the things that why my daughter threw us out of the house is because we would sit down, have a family meal, and they'd say, so how are things going? So we would ask them first, so they'd tell us about their businesses and their part-time companies that they've built and all the rest of it, and their activities. So we did form very well. And then when it came to us, we were allowed to speak about our nonprofit organization. Okay, we were allowed to speak about that with no problem whatsoever. We were allowed to speak about our coaching businesses, and we were allowed to speak about my leadership development business. But I was not allowed to speak about my network marketing business. And I kept saying, but it's all of them are my personal. I could speak about my financial advisor. I could speak about what's happening in property. I could speak about my property portfolio. I could speak about my trust. But when it came to network marketing, I was not allowed to talk about it. And anyway, long story short, why it happened, and this comes back to their perspective and their understanding of things. My daughter is actually a forensics auditor, and you'll be amazed at how many people were ripping people off illegally using the network marketing system. And companies weren't pulling people to account, and then they would try their own little direct selling in a little company like for earrings or something like that. And then there was so she came from that perspective that it was an illegal profession, and we have had to teach her. Now she takes photographs at our events. Okay, so we have swung her, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so most of you would have met her. Awesome, Jeff. Yeah, it is. It's about just that's their judgment on our profession. So that's the first one. Then, of course, the second one just goes a little bit larger, and that's the whole public at large, the haters. We've all got the haters out there, and they basically, our family and friends that come back at us are the ones that have been hurt, and they're just closer to us than the people out there. So when you're picking up the phone, I want you to remember that there are people out there that have been hurt by people in this profession. It's the same way that people have been hurt by people in the medical profession or the financial advising profession or, whatever, retail profession. In all these different professions, lawyers, you've heard bad things about lawyers, that they take your money, overcharge you, those kind of things. Divorce lawyers, how we feel as single women or divorcee mums and dads, we get ripped off with prices and that. So every profession has its thing, but yet there's something that attaches people to hating the network marketing profession. So they're the skeptics. Be aware that they're out there. Just be prepared. Again, thank you so much for sharing. I'm really sorry that's your perspective. Could you please tell me what experience have you had, or has someone hurt you in the profession? Okay, the moment you listen to their story, you now start turning them to somebody who's a little bit open to listening to you, because you can come back with that feel, felt, found. Gosh, I know exactly how you feel. This happened to my mum, or this happened to my brother-in-law, or this happened to, I know exactly how you feel. but you know what? Feel felt. And if that had happened to me, I would have felt exactly the same way. But you know what I have found? That since I've been in the profession, this is what I've found. And would you not like to just come and meet some amazing people? Okay. Feel, felt, found. And that's the easiest way, not defending it or anything else like that. Just say, hey, I understand how you might feel. Because I know that somebody felt this way, and carry on with feel, felt, found. Very good. Your third set of dudes, okay, that are out there to get you, as the bloggers. Okay, and this is the biggest one that everybody's complaining about at the moment. And there's two types of bloggers. There's the bloggers that badmouth you and try and portray, and so they badmouth your company, they badmouth your product, they badmouth your compensation plan, scroll down to the bottom and say, but you know what, if you want to get into the space, we're the experts, click here. So basically their marketing campaign, and you'll find a couple of these blogs against Lifestyle Galaxy at the moment. I just can't think of the sites, but they're out there. But if you click on their site, they will tell you how to get into their company, which is really, really bad marketing. Okay. Now, most people will type in Lifestyle Galaxy scam, and that's all they're going to see. They don't actually go through this whole thing. And it says there thousands of people in Lifestyle Galaxy have been scammed. But at the end of the day, where are these thousands of people? Because they're not commenting on the blog. Okay, so it's just a perception. But if you click their link, they will sell you into cryptocurrencies and mining and that kind of thing. So there's those bad-mouthing bloggers that are using it for their own personal gain. Then you've got the other guys, which is called ClickBank, and they know human nature. We search for the bad before we search for the good. Okay, human nature. So I don't go in there and say, what are the wonderful things about Lifestyle Galaxy? I go and type in Lifestyle Galaxy scam, because I want to prove that the fear that I've got inside of me and the apprehension to join you, okay, is justified. Okay, so sorry, somebody just wants a link to get in. I just need to go. Where's this link posted, guys? Keith, help me. It's a November success. There it is. There. That's the new link. There we go. Let me just quickly post it. Okay. Great. So there's that. And so what they have, and they've specialized in search engine optimization, and they know that there's key buzzwords that they get paid on for people to click on. So they will put in Lifestyle Galaxy scam, Galaxy mining scam, Genesis scam, or whatever it is, Bitcoin scam. Okay, and they link your websites to this. So when you click on it, they get paid because you responded to that, and that's called your ClickBank. And so, of course, their whole goal is to make sure as many people as possible click on those links. So, exactly, it sounds like some experience with this before. I like that, Jeff, with regards to, wow, it sounds like you've had some experience with this before. That's for your larger public, or even your family for that matter, when they, wow, it sounds like you've had some experience with this before. Tell me about it. Okay, so the first one is your family and friends. Yes, Andrew. Whoops, I just muted you. Hold on one sec. Okay, cool, go for it.
And a lot of time what happens, although you introduce them to whatever the business was, and let's say something didn't work out, they put in a lot of money, and it's because of their own greed, but they need to blame somebody. So you the fall guy. A lot of times, I mean, I'm being honest, 5 years ago, we got involved in something that was a scam, but we didn't tell the guys to go and put in fortunes. There were guys that, because it was so easy to make the money, became greedy with it and put a lot of, although they were warned, but it was short-term thinking. And Tony's mentioned it a lot of times, guys, greed will kill you.
Yeah.
And the whole network marketing.
Yes.
Because of that. They will never blame themselves that they were greedy. They're just looking for a fall guy.
100%. No one likes to admit they've made a mistake. You're right, Andrew. So thank you for sharing. No one likes to admit they've made a mistake. And then when it comes to money, they need to blame somebody. But the funny thing is, when the property portfolio crashed, who did they blame? They didn't come knock. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I find so fascinating. But maybe it's because we're so available for people that we're picking up this flack. Whereas if it's a property portfolio, or the property market crashes, or the global financial crisis hits, or the rand dollar goes in the opposite direction and they lose money on their investments, they don't treat people the way that they've actually treating us with regards to our portfolio. And the funny thing is, even if the global financial crisis happens and they lost money, guess what? They still put more money every single month into RAs, into pension funds, into, that's the classic thing. They're still putting money monthly away with the hope that something's going to happen. So it's quite interesting. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share? How's it, George? June, how's it? So good to have you guys on board. Okay, so what we've been chatting about is cool. We've been chatting about educating our expectations, specifically in the network marketing industry, and how most people are going to say no, and the few are going to say yes. But if we educate our expectations, then we will understand where we're coming from. So we said that go and listen to the video in My Lifestyle Galaxy. You go to the how-to videos, go right to the very bottom. There's one that Andrew Eaton's done. It's called Educate Your Expectations, and it's literally 7 minutes on what we've been discussing here for an hour. Okay, and that's why I wanted to unpack it more, because it sounds, he goes through it nice and quick and easy. But now that we're unpacking it, it starts making it real, that you guys know it's not just you that it's happening to. It's happened to me. It's happened to Jeff. It's happened to Keith. It's happened to Andrew. Okay, it's happened to all of us. We're all experiencing it. And it's not our fault that we're experiencing it. It is what it is. Now we know what it is. And the moment you know what it is, you know how to deal with it. And that's what I want us to chat to today. So we said the first dream stealer is your family and friends. Second one is the larger public, basically the people you're picking up the phone to, our bloggers. And then, of course, the fifth one is our fourth one is our current positions or professions that we are in. So, for example, we think that we won't approach, because this is a network marketing profession, it goes back to our belief, we're not going to approach a doctor, because why would a doctor want to get involved in network marketing? Okay, and so we then only sell him a mine, and we don't sell him the network marketing, because we're scared to actually share with him that there's a possibility of making money outside of what he's currently doing. George knows the story, and probably only George, and Philip Van Rooyen knows the story as well, and Margriet might remember. We had, in our previous network marketing business, we had quite a few doctors. We had pediatricians, and the one pediatrician literally had no time, because his life was saving babies, and he is a heart specialist, so he was always on call, because he became so specialized in his area that he realized the one thing he wanted to buy back was his time. So what he ended up doing was, every single day when he had to go and eat his sandwich or eat something, he literally left his office, sometimes even in his what clothing do you call the surgeon's clothing? He went and stood on the helipad. Scrubs, thank you, Margriet. Okay, I don't watch those movie shows. He would literally go in his scrubs. He would stand on the helipad, whether it was rain, snow, sleet, whatever, because he knew he had to make at least 5 phone calls a day to create and buy back his time. Because if he didn't do that for the rest of his life, he would be on call. And he knew he had to start buying back his time, so that he could then start using some money to actually train, educate, and develop other people underneath him, so that he didn't become the only specialist. And that's what network marketing did for him. And his wife, sadly, they couldn't have children, which means his whole life was dedicated to saving babies. And but he eventually got really high up in the ladder. Eventually, it brought himself back more and more time as he was going through. But he started with making 5 phone calls a day. out on the helipad while he quickly wolfed out his sandwich before he was called back on a call. But he did it as a constant every single day. And the reason why he did it is because he wanted time back. And the only way he could get time back was to sacrifice time now. And that's something we all, sometimes we have so much time available to us that we actually waste it. When you look at a person like that, whose time is so precious to him, he would literally get in his car, drive home, and as soon as he got home, there was another call for a baby, and he had to turn around, go back, get in the helicopter and fly to another hospital to fly somewhere. So yeah, that's how he lived his life. And he now has brought back, at least he now has 2 days off a week, and he's developed other people to be able to be specialists in that space. So he's actually duplicated himself in his own practice as well as in the network marketing, and it was network marketing that gave it to him, not his profession. So sometimes a big dream stealer can be our profession, is because we realize we can't get out of our professions. And another reason why our professions are dream stealer is because when we come into this network marketing, we're not prepared to submit to the existing system that works, and we want to go and do our own thing. Especially if you're a highly educated person, you find it difficult to submit to the system, and you want to start doing things your own way, and you're not prepared to follow the system. So if you don't know what the system is, you need to ask me what is the system, so we can go and have a one-on-one and make sure we know the system. But I think we've gone through the system enough times, and get to the monthly training so you can learn the system. Okay. All right, so then the fourth one, and we'll start getting some interaction here. But the fifth one, that was the fourth one. So first one is family and friends. Second is larger public. Third was bloggers. Fourth is your own current profession that you might be in. Then the fifth one is you. The fifth one is you. Okay? You will procrastinate. You will not pick up the phone. And basically, you are your own dream stealer. As much as you know that you know that you know this is what you want to do, that this is going to leverage residual income, it's going to give you everything that you want. You and I are our own dream stealers, and we're the biggest dream stealers. Just because the moment that little voice inside you, when somebody says to you, you can't do this, it triggers off something. It triggers off little voices in your head, and some of us have got more than one little voice. They have a choir of voices that talk to us left, right, and center, tell us that we can do it, we can't do it, and it depends on what you're going to actually fall down and listen to. Are you going to listen to that little voice that says you can't do this, or you're going to say, yes, I can do this? So we need to make sure that we understand what our dream is. So just today, I procrastinated making phone calls. I found 1,000,001 things to do. And I thought, Michelle, you have to get those links out. Andrew's going to check them. I'm going to be held accountable for my links on Thursday at 4:30. Andrew Harasidis is also going to be held accountable. And I just know I had to get those links out. So I'm not as hard as Andrew is. Andrew really comes down on us really hard. You've heard him passionately how he goes. And I decided, you know what, I need to send those links out. So I just put my head down, made those calls, got those links out. Now I've got to follow up. At least I know that they've been watched. Now I've just got to do the follow-up calls, but I still need to make more links, send more links out tomorrow. At the end of the day, your activity, Keith has put it there, action. I know we make excuses. It's definitely one of my biggest problems. Don't fear. Exactly what can the person say to you? Please just go, before you go to bed tonight, I want you to process the last time somebody said no to you. That is N-O, no to you. All right? What happened to you? Did you die? Did you go into heart attack? Did you end up in hospital? Okay, what happened? You might have oh, okay, but you're still here. You still got up the next day. So I agree. We're fearing what people think of us because we haven't mastered the fact that family and friends could be wrong, that the public could be wrong, that the bloggers could be wrong, that people, my profession, which is keeping me away from whatever I might need to do, could be wrong. Tracy's chickens could be wrong. Margriet's people who she trains could be wrong. George, I don't know, you Tessa could be wrong. Although I know Lovey's never wrong. Lovey's never wrong, okay, George? Now just hear me. Lovey's never wrong, okay? But at the end of the day, guys, it is, yes, Philip, self-belief, 100%. Please, and I want you all to know, just today, that's where my headspace was at. And I thought, you know what? Why did that happen to me today? And I have to sit back and say, why did it happen to me today? And it was because I did not follow my own system this morning. My auditor arrived at 9 o'clock. I had to get Ant off to work, and I did not start with my personal growth. I did not start with reading my book. I did not start with any of that. So by the time the day went, the auditor went, it was a bit of negative, positive, and off she went, and she came back, and then it was like, you know what, let me have a cup of coffee, let me process that, and then it was an excuse, and then it was like, oh, I don't feel like phone calls, no, my blood sugar's dropped, and oh my word, that was me just today. And I'm like, guys, it happens to all of us, but we need to get, how do I get my headspace right? So I just went and played with my Yorkies for a while, got a little bit of I went and listened to Marcin Michel again. I got my headspace right, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make those calls. I'm going to make those calls. And you know what? Some people said no to me. And because that's one of the reasons why I prepared this today, is because I had gone through and listened to Andrew's Educate Expectations before I started my phone calls. That was my ammo. That was my bulletproof. And then it was exactly what Jeff said at the very beginning of this webinar, was self-talk. My self-talk was, I have to believe in myself and I can do this. And backing up the self-talk is what Keith has just said, and that's action. So, and then you'll get a result. Yes. Who wants to say something? Philip, yes.
Philip. Yeah, for me, I think the self-belief also comes from if you can start seeing the result. But what I found was basically it needed daily deliberate actions. You know, this past year, if it wasn't for the business, I don't know where I would have been, because I made enough income from the business to pay off bills and things like that. But first, you have to get that self-belief that you can actually make it. You know? So that's get the results, but it only comes from daily delivery.
So absolutely, I couldn't agree with you. And so since Jeff is the one that started this, he started with, not Todd for Cody. Who have you started with, Jeff? Your 14-day challenge? Jeff is frozen on us. Okay, wait, let's just go back. There we go, got you. Yeah, your 14-day challenge.
Yeah, it's with Ray Higdon.
Ray Higdon. Okay, so this is on the self-talk, isn't it?
Well, that was one of the things. That was yesterday's challenge. I mean, the other challenge is really focused around doing Facebook Lives.
Okay. Yes.
And yeah, talking to a camera is a bit of a shit-inducing experience. But I'm getting used to it.
Awesome, man.
So, you know, every day there's some topic that he wants us to
Brilliant.
To give feedback on. It's really about giving value, and then teaching us how to do transition from what you're talking about to whatever else it is you want them to do you want to give a call to action to do.
Brilliant.
And yesterday's was on self-talk, and he spoke about, you know, the people who are talking about how difficult it is, how nervous they are, how frustrated they are. He brought up 5 words: frustrated, confused, stuck, and a couple of other words. And if we use those words, that's exactly what we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the hacks he gave, which I think is really effective, is whenever we talk to ourselves, just end it with, and that's what I want.
Okay.
And see how what we say to each other resonates with what we really want or not.
So if I'm saying, gee, I'm so frustrated, and that's
if it
what I
doesn't, yes, you want to stay frustrated, you
Wow.
keep what you say.
Wow.
You get to keep what you speak.
Yeah.
And, if we talk to ourselves like that, that's where we're going to stay.
I love that. That's actually very powerful, because no, I don't want to be frustrated. So if you're angry, I'm so angry, and well, that's what I want. No, it's not. Then you start. Wow, that's actually pretty powerful. Hey, just something as small as that.
It is. It's profound. I mean, he comes up with these one-liners that are actually incredible. I really resonate with that guy. But go and listen to it. It's that one's sideways, but it's about self-talk. We're going to attract whatever we're thinking is going to inspire what we feel and what we say.
Yeah. Awesome. Margriet noticed.
So really what we say comes, whatever we say has started with the way we think. And if we think it over enough, think stuff over long enough, it becomes what we believe about ourselves.
Yeah.
And about the world around us. So when we find ourselves saying something that, and that's what I want, isn't actually what we want, just change your thought. Find another thought.
Very quickly. That is a game changer. I agree. So there's a challenge for each of us this week. All right. So every time you have a feeling come up, we're going to add, and that's what I want. And then we're really going to say, okay, fine, is that really what I want? And how we're going to actually swing that around. So if it is I am elated, I'm happy, I'm joyful, and that's what I want, then don't change that one. Stick with that one, okay?
No, go. Just get appreciative. Appreciate what you're thinking and what you're feeling.
And think about it and say, wow, that's so awesome. It'd be quite interesting.
Well, here's one. I haven't got it yet. But I know that a team of great leaders is coming to join my business.
And that's what I want.
And that's what I want.
Love it. That's a whole new meaning. So, George, when you're writing your goals down, and that's what I want at the end of every single one of those goals, because George writes them down every single day, so does Margriet, and that's what I want. Okay. So I love that. I think that's actually, because you're starting to manifest it also, because you start changing your mind. So what are we changing? We're changing our conscious to re-edit our subconscious.
Yes.
Brilliant.
And then go to bed with all that positivity, and you'll wake up with that same manifestation in the morning.
Love it. So I'm going to have a good night's sleep, and that's what I want.
Yes.
Oh, Anthony's going to say, what the hell happened here? Awesome. Thanks for sharing. That was really, really cool. Right. That was a nice nugget. I've written it down in big red pen for my side. Anybody else? Yes.
Red? Michelle, you're supposed to read in green.
Green. Sorry. I'm going to write it in green in my book. No, that's a mistake. You're right. Well done, Jeff. George, yes.
No, I just want to say, tell Andy wants to stir around, and that's what I want.
Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely. Awesome. Who else would like to add what nuggets they've picked up for themselves just while listening and just going through the 5 dream stealers?
Hi, Michelle. I basically today, when I sat down to watch the videos, I had contacted a few people that I spoke to before, and and I just went on to LinkedIn and I looked at quite a few profiles and invited quite a few people, and I sent the link to everybody with a little personalized message. And basically tonight I have 2 booked conferences with you. And yes, our colleagues in the industry can sometimes be our dream killers, because I've approached very big people in the industry and got a no.
Yeah.
But then also I know the personalities, so I sort of took a chance, and the personality sort of proved me right in that regard. But yeah, I watched the videos some of them the other day, sitting in the Wimpy, but my headspace was not right. And I watched the two that you said again tonight, and I picked out so many things in terms of, why we sometimes procrastinate. It is lying with ourselves. It's sometimes you don't even realize that you have a fear to approach people, but if you just go out and do it like the Nike slogan, you actually do get the benefit.
Brilliant.
All right.
Absolutely.
I've got my esports t-shirt on.
I see this, eh? I love it. I love it. Oh, did you catch one?
Yes, and the children in the restaurant. I was wearing it on Saturday as well.
Brilliant.
Purely because I had to run out of the house quickly, and it was sitting on the bed, and I've never worn it before, and I thought, I'm going to wear that. And all the children were staring at me, and they loved it. So, yeah.
Oh, that is so awesome, man. Oh, but that's so nice. One of our team members got one. That's so cool. Awesome, guys.
Right. Yes, and I've got an Android little phone as well, so I'm going to start with the game.
Well done. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks. Great. And Jeff too. Submitting to Android. Sorry. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jeff. Awesome. Andrew, you want to say something?
I wanted to say earlier you mentioned feel, felt, found.
Yes.
That works every single time. I had it with a guy that he's at Four Ways Mall, and they're busy doing massive renovations there. And his turnovers dropped from 1.2 million to about 300. And he wasn't going to join the business. I used those three words. I felt the way you did, because I had a Wimpy in the mall as well. And when they did renovations, I went through the same thing that you're going through. And then I found a way that will with my income. And that feel found. And Eric Worre swears by it all the time.
Absolutely. Brilliant. That's a nice example, because you could emotionally attach to that as well, because you really, 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 not using a third person story. I mean, it's really happened to you. So you understand exactly. I mean, that's a lot of money. Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Anybody else want to say something? Say something. Isn't there a song that goes like that? I'm not going to sing to you guys. But I'm pretty sure there is a song that says, say something. Okay. All right. Okay. So then I am going to ask you either to quickly type there one thing you got out of this, or else just quickly open up. So I know Andrew got out the feel, felt, found as his reminder. George got out. Well, we know we got so much out from what I got out. That's what I want. From Jeff. That was my one. Tracy, what did you get out of tonight?
I'm not sure if you want me to type or want me to say it.
Say it quicker.
But I also had a no today. And it was somebody that I really, really thought would say yes. She's just so vibrant and a fabulous personality, and she's a single mom, and she really could do with the money. And when she said to me, "Is it that Bitcoin stuff you're talking about?" I knew exactly. I was probably not on the right route, but I was just shocked. I was just absolutely shocked. And what she actually said to me, I could take a chat, but I chatted to her on WhatsApp. And I'm terrified of the phone, because as you know, I was a bank manager, and I was abused every day.
Oh yes,
many times on the phone, and I hate the phone. But if I picked up the phone, it might have been a bit different.
Yeah, true. Awesome.
So you made me think tonight when you said phone. I must just get over it.
We do, and what's nice is you're fortunate and to be a person who's got a beautiful soft voice, when you actually speak. When I speak, I'm very aggressive and very abrupt. I'm going to be conscious of trying to make it soft and sweet like you. It comes naturally, so it should be easy for you to get on the phone because nobody can be that cross with you. I think the no's that you get will be sweet no's. Mine are aggressive no's, so go for it. Let's see how it goes. Awesome. Great. Who else would like to share? Margriet said what she got. Aubrey, I know, is closed. Nalu, are you there? Nalu. You're always quiet.
Hi,
What
I'm
did you get
here.
out of tonight, Nalu?
Actually, what I got is that I think you don't have to give up from the people who are saying no. I think for the people who are saying no, it actually gets you closer to the people who are gonna say yes. And I'm actually also terrified of people saying no, because once they say no, I don't have like a backup plan to actually go back to them. I feel like I should just leave them alone. So sometimes people would maybe later on come back and say, but you didn't follow up on that thing, and then I start feeling guilty because I'm always too scared to get another no from the same person again. So
Yes.
yeah,
Awesome.
that's what I got.
Awesome. Nice. Thanks, Nana, for sharing. It's very powerful. That.
Very powerful. Maybe just what struck me from the video is to actually do the 30-day cycle over and over again, because then you actually, you get the first 7 days where you get your list together and you actually just start phoning and contacting and sending links and put the nose aside and start every day as if you're starting a new month.
Awesome.
And then obviously set the goal for the end of the day and set the goal for the end of the month.
Brilliant.
If we don't set those goals, we obviously, sort of get busy with other stuff and get distracted. And I think all of us whether you're in corporate or not, whether you're mum or just doing your other little business on the sideline, you get distracted. So sometimes it's just good to plan the day and align a certain amount of time for certain tasks. Yes. And obviously spend also the percentage of time should justify what you want out as a goal as well. So,
awesome. Yeah. Nice. Thank you, June. George, nice one. Me being my dream stealer. Yep, me too. And that's what I want. I love that. I'm really going to put that big letters on my laptop. And then, of course, I want to use Little Voice Mastery. That's a brilliant book. That if none of you have read it, just hold on a second. I'll show it to you. Okay, here it is here. Little Voice Mastery. I've got a couple of books. I think they're about $250 a book. So yeah, so if you want me to post you one, it is absolutely brilliant. It will sort your brain out. Right, guys. Thank you very much for this evening. I think we've had a great time, and we look forward to next week. Thank you for being on board. My challenge to you all here is next week to please make sure you each have got at least, for those of you who have a downline, each of you, can you make sure, including you, Andrew and Jeff, if you want to do it, and that is to try and bring one more other downline onto this call next week. Okay, cool. Chat to you all, and God bless until we meet again. See you just now.